everyone, I'm Hayley, I'm always in the craft room, and welcome to another Friday Sews where I chat about what I've been up to this week. You may have seen my recent vlog where I made a white linen blouse, and I have to tell you, I've worn it twice already, I love it, and I already need to alter it. Let me grab it and show you what's the problem. So here is my lovely blouse, and do excuse me because this is ready for a wash, but I knew that if I washed it and put it back in the wardrobe clean, I would wear it again. So I've promised myself I'm not going to wash it until I've altered it. And it's a really simple thing I need to do is the back neckline facing. So if I take it off this hanger, I will try and show you that the back neckline facing, which is top stitch from the outside, when I did it, I think I just didn't pull it quite taut enough. So as I'm wearing it, I can feel that the facing is just bunching slightly. Can you see there? There's just a little bit of slack between the neckline and the line of top stitching, and I can feel it standing kind of bubbling. And yeah, we don't want anything against the back of my neck in this hot weather. So all I need to do is unpick that top stitching, and then what I might do is just stitch in the ditch so that at least I can tuck it. The other thing I might do is mark it, draw a line along the edge as it is now with my dissolvable pen, and then undo it and then try top stitching it again, but making sure that I've pulled it lower than that line, because I remember doing this and I did drape it over my trusty tailor's ham, but maybe that made it hump in the wrong direction. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, if I hold it against there, can you see how I've just got enough slack to make it uncomfortable? Anyway, that's a quick and easy job, and the machine is still threaded in this white thread with the correct needle on, so I'm just going to do it before I wash it. Also, whilst the machine is threaded white, I'm going to make my summer white t-shirt, and I've been thinking about what pattern to use. I can't show you the fabric because I can't find it. How ridiculous is that? And the craft room, I promise, is so tidy. I don't know where it could be unless I took it over to the house intending to cut it out one evening and I never got round to it. I don't know. Anyway, it's not in here, and you don't really need to see it. It's just a plain white knit fabric. But I've been thinking about what pattern to use, and I think I want a fitted tee because it's to wear with wide leg trousers and flowy skirts. So I think I'm just going to use the bodice from the Kitschy Coo Lady Skater dress. I made this dress so many times when it was first released, and I've used the bodice very recently to make a dress that had a knit bodice and a woven skirt. It's wintry, so I haven't worn it for a while, but I love the fit on that. So I will need to lengthen the bodice and account for my hips as well, but I think I'm going to do that in the scoop neck. I was talking about a V-neck, but I think with that style, I want a scoop neck. I would also like another white t-shirt, slightly looser fit with a V-neck. And for that, I think I'll use the Closet Core Tee as my base pattern. But that fabric that I bought from Leon's the other week that I told you about, I love it. And I've been looking for so long for a white fabric. So can someone tell me why I didn't just buy 2 meters? Why didn't I? I don't know. And I've got 2 funny stories about this toxic trait of mine, but I am not good at looking at the prices of things. I just decide I want it and then I go to the checkout and it's just a surprise. And at Leon's, it was a very happy surprise because that fabric was £3.25 a metre. I mean, I should have bought the whole bolt. I've been searching for a white t-shirt fabric, I think since Christmas, and it's July, and I finally found one and I bought 1 measly metre. Anyway, that same trait came back to bite me in the opposite direction this week when I went yarn shopping. So I need a new crochet garment project. This is my iron lamb v-neck sweater and I love it. And I went to a new to me yarn shop. It is absolutely beautiful. It's in the Cheshire village of Tarporley and it's called Stitch on the High Street. And you guys, what a delightful shop. Everything in there was beautiful. Now, it was definitely at the higher end, which makes sense because it is quite a small premises. So it's not going to be, you know, stuffed high with acrylic yarn. Everything was just beautifully presented, beautiful goods. And I fell in love with a yarn. So the thing with yarn is it's a complex mix of many different factors. So when we're looking at fabric, we have to take into account whether it's knit or woven, and also the fibre composition, whether you like the print, the scale of the print, the colour. But with yarn, the size of the actual yarn affects both which patterns you can make from it and also how big or small they come out. And the other factor that you have to bear in mind is the fibre composition. Now, I have such trouble buying yarn. This particular one is a Rico cotton mercerized. It's just beautiful. It was beautiful to work with. I love how it looks. It's got a slight sheen and I like cotton. What I don't like to wear or crochet with is acrylic. I've only used it for a project for my mum actually. She chose the yarn and it was a beautiful colour and I made a little bed jacket for her. But if you know this, you will agree. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I think you will just think I'm a bit nuts. But as I'm working with acrylic yarn, every so often I get a little squeak. And that's literally just sent a shiver down my spine, even just describing it to you. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. And I'd bought all the yarn and I promised Mum this bed jacket. So I did finish that and it was a fun stitch pattern to do. And it only happens once in a while. So I made it through. But yeah, there's no more acrylic yarn in my future, which rules out an awful lot of yarn. But also, I'm allergic to all animal fibres. Every single one that I've ever tried is just so itchy to me. I made a pair of wool trousers, you may recall, just after Christmas this year, and I fully lined them, and they're fine, I can wear them, but I can also feel the wool through the lining the whole time I'm wearing them. I know it's there. So this gorgeous shop had so much quality wool, and the thing is, once you move up into the higher qualities of yarn, there's no acrylic in it, great, but there is a very high likelihood that it's going to have wool or alpaca or yak or mohair. So it's very hard for me to find yarn that I can wear. And I do love cotton, but I saw a pattern called the I'll Pencil You In sweater. I saw it in the winter and I bookmarked it and I've wanted to make it ever since, but it involves using a worsted weight yarn held together with a mohair to give a halo effect. And the halo effect is beautiful, but as far as I knew until recently, it could only be achieved with animal fibres. I have Googled ChatGPT'd mohair alternatives so many times, and they always just come up with other alternatives that are still an animal fibre. I need one that is not acrylic, but not wool, yak, alpaca, any of those. And you guys, I found it. And look at the colour. This is Wool and the Gang. 100% cotton, but it's fluffy. Oh, I don't even know how they've done it. It is just the softest yarn I've ever felt, but it is going to give that haloed look of a mohair. As soon as I saw it, I've wanted cobalt blue fabric actually I've been looking for, but you know, yarn all day. I've wanted something in this colour for absolutely ages. I've wanted to make that sweater for so long. I've wanted a fluffy yarn that wouldn't make me itch. And I'll tell you what, one yarn that I can and do work with that sometimes comes in a fluffy variety is polyester. But I have made a couple of garments from Paint Box Yarns, 100% polyester chenille, and it's so soft and I do like it, but it makes me warm. It's really warm. It's great for a freezing cold day, but because of the design of this sweater with the high neck, I just thought I would 100% overheat in anything polyester. So I saw this ball of yarn. All my dreams came true. And then, like any good crocheter does, I sat on the floor of the shop with my phone and tried to work out how much yarn I would need to make that sweater. And honestly, this hobby, it's like 20% crocheting, 80% maths. Because it's a combination of the size of sweater that you're making, the thickness of the yarn, how tightly you crochet, and you can't sit in the shop and make a little test swatch, can you? I mean, I'm sure some yarn store owners would be happy for you too. But we also have to bear in mind, this isn't actually the correct thickness for that pattern, which doesn't matter to me. I'm a weirdo who loves algebra, so I'm going to really enjoy working out how many stitches I need to make this in that size, because I tried a swatch using the recommended needle size for this in the pattern of the jumper. So let me show you. This is the correct side. No, it isn't. This is. So it's a crochet stitch designed to emulate a knit stitch, and I just think it's so pretty. But my swatch is coming out with far too few stitches. Now, one remedy to this would just be to size down in the pattern, and then you're doing fewer stitches and you'll end up with a garment that's still in your size but with fewer stitches. But I'm a size medium, and this pattern smaller than that only has a small and an extra small. And from my rudimentary, like in my head calculations, I don't think an extra small in this thickness of yarn will do it. I think I need fewer stitches even still. Anyway, I will enjoy the challenge, and I love my swatch and I love my yarn. But back to my toxic trait, I decided I needed 7 balls of this. And merrily I went up to the counter, and I did think, well, in the gang, it's never cheap. This is going to be an expensive sweater. But you know what? I love the yarn. I love the pattern. I'll enjoy doing it. And in my head, I thought, you know what? If it's a 60 quid sweater, you'd pay almost that for a ready to wear one, wouldn't you? And you know what? I'm probably out of touch. I never shop ready to wear anymore. How much is 100% cotton sweater now at M&S or John Lewis? It probably is 60 quid, 70 quid, 80 quid, isn't it? Anyway, I bought 7 balls of this at £13.95 a ball. So yeah, it's going to be my 100 quid sweater, but you know what? Don't even care. In fact, I'm glad I didn't check, because I think I would have talked myself out of it, and now it's done, and I'm so thrilled. I've got this yarn and I can't wait to do it. And I had such a lovely day out in that shop. I'm happy to support a local business. That means I go and get to wander around such a beautifully curated shop. I shop in a few places that have wool in the gang. I've never seen this yarn before, and it's my perfect colour. And I'm going to get hours of enjoyment from doing it. Although not as many hours as I'd like, because this swatch crocheted up in like 10 minutes. So it's going to be one of those projects, you know, when you're reading a really good book and you have to ration it and force yourself to slow down and savour each chapter. That's going to be this sweater. But I think you can tell from my face, I am delighted with my new yarn. And while I was there, because they did also have haberdashery bits and bobs, I also restocked on, I think you all call this stitch witchery, hemming tape, because I finished my last roll on my Pattern Scout Flora top, and I also bought some buttons, and I actually bought these for my white linen top that I made recently, my Dominique blouse from Republique de Chiffon, and I ended up not using them because I preferred a white one, but still I love them. They will go in the button stash and will not go to waste. So yeah, a wonderful day out and some lovely yarn. Just don't tell my husband. So what's next apart from the white t-shirt? It is more alterations. Oh my goodness. I've been such a good girl lately, doing all of my mending and all of my alterations, and yet the pile is not going down, it's getting even bigger. And the first one is this bra. So I made this last year. It is an Pffaf Atelier Maya bra, and I've got to tell you, I'll insert some pictures because so proud of this. It is beautiful, if I do say so myself. It's so beautifully made. Honestly, I'm so proud that I made this with my 2 bare hands. But bra making is an adventure. There are so many variables. And whilst this did fit, I haven't found myself reaching for it. And I'll tell you why. This pattern is for an underwired bra. And I do wear underwired bras if I'm leaving the house. I don't wear them for a work from home day, and if I'm only going on the school run to pick the kids up, I go for a soft bra with no underwiring. And the problem with this was, it was as uncomfortable as any of my other underwired bras, but it didn't give me as good a shape and support and lift as my good ready-to-wear bras do. So I wasn't wearing it, so I thought I'll take the underwires out and wear it as a soft at-home bra. So I did unpick the underwires and I unpicked the channeling and everything. And then I tried wearing it without the underwires and it didn't work. And I think it's to do with the shape of the cup. So in an underwired bra, I do love a balcony style where they have this central seam because it provides really good support and lift. It's my favourite shape in ready-to-wear bras, so that's what I made when I attempted my first underwired bra of my own. The problem is, without the underwiring, this bra kind of stretches sideways, and just keeping it real here, it makes my boobs like lozenge shaped. They go all sideways, and it's not a good look. So it ended up that it wasn't an at-home bra either. So I brought it over to the craft room to recycle. And before I ever recycle anything, I take off zips, buttons, all of those bits and bobs, because I've watched, you know, when you watch one thing on YouTube and then it keeps serving up similar things, I've got really into watching clothing recycling videos. And did you know that everything that you send to clothing recycling has to have all of that stuff manually done anyway? And part of the reason that so few clothes get recycled is that that's so time consuming to do. So it's also good, especially with a bra, because this ring and slider, I can just use those again. In fact, I would take off these straps complete exactly as they are and just use them on a new project. But when I came to do it, I suddenly thought, Hayley, you keep talking about needing a skin-coloured cross-back bra. And the problem with this bra is that the boobies are going sideways. So what if I crossed these straps, applying some that way tension, and then just reattach them at the back on the opposite sides? It's worth a try, isn't it? It will take me 5 minutes to unpick those straps, cross them over, and then I'll try it on and see if it works. And if it does, amazing. I've saved myself from having to make that bra that I've been after for ages and never got round to. And if it doesn't work, I'll just cut all the bits off. The rest of it will go in the recycling and I will cut out another bra because I really need one. And next up to be altered is a couple of dresses. This first one is a Megan Nielsen Darling Rangers dress where I changed the neckline to a scoop neck, added the tilly in the button shoulder ruffle, and lengthened it and added tiers. And I love this dress and I've worn it loads. And every time I wear it, it gets a little bit longer. Honestly, I've rehemmed this dress twice, and lucky for me, I was clever enough to just do a rolled hem on my overlocker, because I basically did that because it's like 4 meters around the bottom of this by the time all the tiers are on, and I couldn't stand there with an iron and press that fold. So I thought, oh, I'll just do it on the overlocker. And then 2 times more I've had to take length off. Anyway, I wore this to a friend's barbecue at the weekend, and this time it's stretched to the point that you could see the top of my bra cups. I was so self-conscious. I hadn't realised until I got there and sat down, and then I think everything shifted. Anyway, it needs to be altered again, and this time I'm going to hoik the shoulders. So I haven't decided if I'll just unpick around the top and then gather that to refit. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do, to be honest. And I'm literally just gonna turn it inside out, and with the overlocker, I think I'm gonna take it up 2 centimeters on the double. So taking 4 centimeters of fabric out total and raising everything up by 2 centimeters. And hopefully that will mean it no longer shows my bra and I won't ever have to rehem it again. This fabric is a viscose challis and it's so delightful to wear. It was from Rainbow Fabrics. It's beautiful, I love it, but yikes, it grows. And the last thing that I have to alter, I'm actually embarrassed to show you. It is my Notches Patterns Odell dress. And would you look at that facing? I could watch the video back and work out what I was thinking when I didn't secure this facing down or overlock the edge. But I'm assuming that when I made it and pressed it and understitched it, it sat beautifully. And I was like, oh, this facing is fantastic. I don't think I need to secure it. And, you know, then it went through the wash and it came out looking like this. So, yeah, it's not a big job. I just need to run around the overlocker, the edge of this facing, which is starting to fray. And I'm sure I thought, oh, that won't fray because it's fused. And it's not terrible, but it just looks bad. And then I'm just going to stitch in the ditch because these beautiful puff sleeves are created with 6 individual sleeve panels. So I've got loads of seam lines along here where I can just do a row of stitching in the ditch and secure that facing down once and for all, never to flip up again. I do hope you enjoyed that little catch up about what's been going on in the craft room this week and what I've been buying, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye. What do you call that? Hook and loop tape? No.